Hello and welcome back to Money is Blind podcast. I'm your host Prasoon, and this is the show where you will learn how to become a successful entrepreneur even if you are blind or visually impaired. So, which laptop should you buy as a visually impaired person so that you can build a successful online business? Should you go for a MacBook or is Windows laptops good enough? That's the topic for this episode. So let's get started. So, if you don't have time, I will give you my short answer. It doesn't matter which laptop you are using. The only thing that really matters is if you are able to get your work done. The things that you love the most, the things that you decided you are going to do in your business. It could be a service, it could be making a product. If you are able to complete those work, those tasks using any of these computers, then that is the best computer for you. It could be MacBook for some persons. For me, it is mostly MacBook, and for others, it could be Windows. I have tried both, and I'll be sharing my opinion on how both these ecosystems, the Apple ecosystem as well as the Microsoft Windows ecosystem, worked for me. So, first and foremost, we'll be talking about accessibility. Which type of computer is most accessible? So, without a doubt, accessibility is built into the core of every Apple computer, whether it is a MacBook or an iMac. It has been voiceover, screen readers, magnification, zoom, and every kind of accessibility features that a visually impaired or a legally blind person needs. That's built in every Apple computer, and they have been doing it for the last 23 years now. And so they have tweaked it, they have made changes to it, they have improved it tremendously, and they have asked inputs, resources, feedbacks from legally blind and visually impaired persons, and they've tried to make it better. The very first time you log in, the very first time you start up a computer, you will be able to navigate using voiceover even if you're completely blind. So that is one thing that makes Apple computers stand out from the crowd. And when it comes to system wide navigation and going from apps to apps and getting your things done, whether you're a content creator, whether you're a coder, whether you're a business operator, a manager, you will be able to do most of the things in an Apple computer. But there is a learning curve. How to learn how to use magnification, invert the colors, and do smart inversion, magnification, zooming, everything. There are keyboard shortcuts, and otherwise, you can go to the system preferences in the Apple menu and then navigate to accessibility. You will find all the options and features that Apple is providing in the accessibility features, and there are other accessibility features which are good for persons who are hard of hearing, those who are locomotor disabilities, and most kind of accessibility features. I have seen the most options and features in an Apple computer when I compare it with a Windows computer. So I have made these episodes on accessibility, mainly vision based accessibility features already, and I have also downloaded this file which I am using in my MacBook, and you can download that file and make a copy of my accessibility features in your computer if you are using a MacBook by going to www.moneyisblind.com, and in the menu section you can find the downloads page. There you will be able to find the file that I mentioned. You can download it, and you will be able to use everything just like what I use in my MacBook. So what about accessibility in Windows? It is accessible because Windows Narrator has been improving in the last decade. It was not so great in the early days. Most persons who were using Windows had to depend on JAWS. It is a paid software, and it is I have never used that software, but it is I have heard it is very difficult. But then NVDA came into existence, I think almost 10 years ago. NVDA stands for Non-Visual Desktop Access. It is a private company like an NGO, but non-NPO, non-profit organization. But it makes these softwares and provides them free of cost for all blind and visually impaired persons. They accept donations and all, but it is good. It is a good software. It is a good alternative. When Windows Narrator was not working, you need to have NVDA installed in your Windows computer to get things done. So NVDA, it's the alternative when it comes to accessibility in Windows computers. But in case of voice, the synthetic voices that we hear that the screen readers use, it's better in Apple computers when compared to Windows. In both NVDA and Windows Narrator, the voices are mostly built in Microsoft voices like Microsoft David, Microsoft Jira. All those voices are basic, and you will be able to easily understand that these are not actual human voices, but mm, somewhat human sounding voices are available in Apple computers, and they have developed it over many years. And the fun thing is that the great thing is that in Apple, most of these voices are available in many multiple languages. It's not just in English. Even you can get these languages downloaded in your computer. Even if I'm trying for Hindi, it is there. So screen readers in your mother tongue, that will be possible if you're using Apple computers, and you will be able to get it for free without paying any more money. So second, we'll be talking about the price. The initial expense of owning an Apple computer is always higher. It's much more expensive device when compared to Windows computers. Of course, there are good good configuration Windows computers that you can buy, but you don't need such a high-end computer, a high-performance device. You can get things done even with a small Intel i3 based processor machine. The initial cost of owning an Apple computer is like double or triple when compared to Windows computers. But if you ask me, it will be worth it. Just go for it. It's like it'll be like a one-time investment, and you will be able to complete most of your work using MacBooks. I'm not saying that you will be able to do the same kind of work using Windows computers. Of course, you will be able to do that, but the support, the quality of screen readers, the accessibility features, I would personally prefer, if I have to buy another laptop for my personal use, I'll always go with MacBook. I've been using this Windows computer. It's a Dell machine for the last 2-3 years now, just to check how it goes, because I'm using it as my main office computer. I have a desktop, and for editing videos on the go, for portable devices, I don't use MacBooks for editing videos. We use Windows computers because it is much more easier. So cost wise, of course, Windows wins here, but when the cost is reduced, you are compromising on the features, the navigation abilities, and the time that you need to spend learning how these things work. All those are compromised. If you give more money, if you are ready to spend more money, you will be able to pick it up much more easier in an Apple computer compared to a Windows computer. There are many other parameters on which I have made this decision to keep using MacBooks as my primary device for computing. Of course, I have a Windows laptop which I use often. I've been using it as my main device for conducting webinars. It's much easier to read the script of a Windows computer than my MacBook. So there are other parameters like portability. What if you don't have your laptop with you, and if you are using your friend's laptop or a public domain computer when you are visiting an internet cafe, how do you get your work done? So you can download this file. It'll be in the accessibility menu in your Apple computers, and a similar feature is now available in Windows. Even if you are using Windows Narrator, you will be able to download your settings file and keep it with you in a thumb drive, in a pen drive, or in your Google Cloud. Once you do that, it will be always with you. When whichever computer you're using, you can download that file, use your pen drive to navigate to that file, and in a one within 1 or 2 minutes you will be using that computer just like how you use your personal computers. So accessibility, cost, these are the two factors that I covered in this episode. We will be talking more about Windows computers versus Apple computers in the coming weeks. So stay tuned for those episodes. If you haven't subscribed to this podcast already, do it right now. And if you are enjoying this show, consider leaving a good review. It really motivates me. It really helps me keep going forward. You can also keep in touch with me by visiting www.moneyisblind.com. You can also listen to all the episodes in the website. I have categorized it based on which type of content I have talked in those episodes in the website. It will be difficult for you to do the same in your podcast player, but if you are listening from the beginning, it won't be a problem. So that's it for today. I'll be talking to you guys tomorrow. Stay tuned. You guys take care. Bye bye.